Everybody, Coach Vaughn will give an opening statement, and then you guys are free to fire away questions.
Yeah, honestly, feels good to be back. Doesn't seem that long ago. We were sitting in here and you're asking me why I got the wrong guy coming in or some crazy questions here, but man, it's cool to be back. Been great so far. Man, we've been at work for 4 weeks. I've really liked the stuff we've done, how these guys have showed up. But I think the interesting thing is we always, make a big deal about the first day of practice. And I just got done meeting with a few of these guys in the office here a little bit ago, and we have to put a heavy emphasis on how we finish. We have back-to-back years where we've done some good things at times and didn't finish the way we wanted to. So, man, practice number 45 is going to be just as important as today. And so we've got to have that consistency in the way we go about things. And I'm excited for this group. It's been great. It's part of this kind of transition that's awesome is being able to just get everybody together. Just with the way the NCAA rules work, with the hours you have, you're really siloed for about the first 3 or 4 weeks where you have all the pitchers over here and all the hitters over here. And today we get to get out and go get after it together, and that's really what matters. This is not a pitchers versus hitters thing. This is a Alabama baseball team preparing to go get ready for another 2026 season. So excited to get to work and excited to get out there today.
Coach, what do you learn about a group at this stage of the off season when you obviously you guys were just playing a few months ago, and what do you get out of a group in fall ball and the grind that is and the lead up to February and what comes after?
Yeah, I think it's when your team's built. I think your character, your DNA, your team gets revealed in the spring. If you get to January, if we're in January and February trying to figure out who we are, I think we're in trouble. So I think the identity gets built. As coaches, you're sitting back and watching, a little bit at this early point of, man, you've recruited a lot of these guys. You've got really talented freshman class. You have some really talented transfers. You have some really talented returners. How are they meshing? How are they working together? Man, is this guy going to be ready as quick as we think he is? Is this guy going to take a little more time? This transfer in, man, he can probably plug in here a little bit quicker than we thought. So it's a lot of just kind of sitting back and evaluating that. But I think, what makes Mo so good at what he does is, man, the DNA of this group looks right again. And I've talked about that ad nauseum last year. But man, I think it's a lot of the right kids. Now we're going to find that out over the next 45 days. But I think we got a lot of the right guys in the room again. I think it's a really talented group. I think it's going to be a really tough group as we navigate our way through this. So we'll put our heads down and get to work and see where we're at.
Coach, you talked about that freshman class. There's some speculation from the media pre-draft about how many of those guys would actually make it to campus. How huge is this class? And then Justin, how have you been getting along with them? How have they been working with the team?
Yeah, I think, we sat there on draft day very unsure, probably about 4 or 5 of those guys. And they're plenty good enough. My goodness, there's some talent in there. You go watch Eric Hines hit a baseball. Like, not many guys can do what he does. Not many make him ooh and ah behind the cage, and Eric does. So the talent is not the question. Like, that class is really good. Again, you look at Mo, JJ, Pap, and what they did putting that group together. It's a really good group. Now it just comes the maturity of it. Like, everybody is talented in this league. Everybody is talented on this team. So it really becomes like, how quickly do they mature into that? How do they handle the adversity of the fall? How do they handle the day-to-day? Because they're getting a lot of stuff thrown at them, and it's the first time they're out of the house, and they're having to figure out life on their own. They're having to figure out what college baseball workouts look like. They're going to see high-level arms all fall. Some of them are going to get really punched in the mouth. And, man, the test is who can get back up. And we joke about this all the time. I think he got 1 hit his freshman fall. Like, I didn't leave the fall being like, man, that guy, that's the guy. I left the fall like, man, he's a really good player. He's a really good young player that it might take a little bit of time, but, man, it's the right dude. And fortunately for us, it kind of moved through it a little bit quicker. But I think it's a testament to how he handled struggle, how he handled failure. He didn't take that as an indictment on, I stink, I'm not any good. It just kept working his tail off, and it showed. So that's what will be the big test for these young freshmen. They're really talented. It's really cool to get some recognition, but with that, they're going to fail. They're going to fail today. Some of them have failed already, and it's like, how quickly can we pick ourselves back up when we get knocked down? That's going to be the true telltale sign. But that class is going to be a pretty special group for Alabama baseball. Like I said, the quicker they can learn to manage that, the quicker they start impacting the on-field performance.
Coach, in the day and age of college athletics, a guy like LeBron, he can hit the door and go elsewhere. What does it say about the culture that he stuck around for his junior season?
I wish we could take credit for that. Like, it's got a great family and a great support staff. I mean, you see it all around. Like, you see people that they do, man. Like, they chase money, they chase being the sexy thing, and I'll let him speak to that for himself. But like, I think winning here was important to him. I think doing it here was important to him. I think he's improved as a player, and I wish I could say, man, we did some magical things to do that, but it's more, we got very fortunate to have a young man and a family that puts a priority on things that matter. And I think we're so quick to say everybody's just out there chasing money and chasing fame and chasing this. The right kids are still out there. And I think we got a lot of them, especially this one sitting right here.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, this place has been super special to me. I mean, I'm very big on loyalty, and I won't leave somewhere that I haven't given my all to. And I felt like leaving a place like this, especially with this coaching staff, I mean, what they're building here is just phenomenal. I mean, there's nothing like it anywhere else, and that's for sure. I mean, you're going to come here, you're going to be a part of a family, and that's what I've always wanted to be. Like, I'm super big on family, and this is exactly what that is.
Justin, what is the feel like coming into your third year? Obviously, really good last couple of years, but I'm sure last year maybe there were some thoughts out there about, freshman year, was this for real? What can you carry into year over year? What's your mindset going into now being an upper class player and having been there, done that multiple times?
I mean, really, it's just helping out the classes behind me. I mean, honestly, I'm super unselfish. I want everybody to be just equally as good as I am. Honestly, I want everyone to get the same opportunity that I can. I know it's going to be difficult. Failure is big, and it's going to happen. But I mean, these guys have really helped me with everything. Like, there was literally never a doubt in my mind that I would not be here. So,
Coach, do you feel that if every player was as good as him, you would go 56 and up?
Yeah, I think that would make my life a little easier. I think I'd sleep a little better at night. I'd probably spend a little less time worried about certain things. But yeah, like, he gets a lot of credit, and it's very deserved for his makeup and this and that. But I think the thing that's really neat about him is, like, it's a really special kid, and I think it's a really unselfish kid, and that's what winning baseball is. Like, he's said this, we've talked plenty of times this fall. Like, there's no, we can run and hide from the draft conversation in this, or we can be real about it, know what's in front of you, but just go invest in your teammates, and that's what he's done up to this point. That's what he's going to continue to do, and I think, man, it's our whole mantra is the pack, man. The strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack. Like, that's him, man. Like, there's times he carried us last year, and there's times our team carried him last year, and I think that's what makes this team unique, and that's what makes college baseball awesome, just in a nutshell. But players of that caliber and that makeup don't come around super often. There's plenty of talented players out there. There's guys just as good as Justin running around in college campuses right now. But I think when you combine the makeup and that together, that's when you get special stuff. And been fortunate to coach a few of them. Matt Shaw's one of the first one that comes to mind. Special human, special player. Like, they don't come around often, but you enjoy the heck out of the ride while you got them.
Pitching last year, I would say, was an Achilles heel for you guys. What gives you optimism that this year will be different past Zane Adams and Tyler Fay?
Yeah, I mean, I think it is. I think one thing that's neat, like, man, like, JJ always takes heat in the spring, and I get that. Like, social media loves yelling at JJ about stuff, but you look at it, man, JJ's the only pitching coach in the SEC that's had $1 million arm each of the last 5 years. Each of the last 5 years, the only one in the country, and that's every school you're talking about, the only one that's done that. And every single one of those are homegrown. Like, that's unique. Like, Anthony Iason's elite. We didn't go bring Anthony Ison in. Like, you look at his track record of guys and what he's done developing arms, he's as elite as it gets at it and is consistent. And if I'm a young recruit, that's what I want. I don't want the flash in the pan. I don't want, man, I can go over here real quick and I can pull this guy in and he's a first rounder. I'm going to put him on my resume. Like, I think I can make Paul Skeens a first rounder, and that is not a knock on LSU at all. Nate, yes, he's elite. But that's different when you do it with homegrown guys that come up through there. And so obviously we did that with Riley Quick. Zane Adams had to work through some things last year, and I think it was really good for him. And you credit Zane. Zane could have still gotten picked last year. He was a draft eligible sophomore. If he wanted to go sign, he could have. And he told me, he's like, man, I just feel like I don't like leaving a place if I don't feel like, kind of like Ron just said, like I was able to really put my best foot forward. I didn't walk away from money in high school just to run and sign as fast as I can. I want to be back here. So you have Zane back on a mission. You have Tyler Fay, who emerged last year. I mean, that guy was not pitching a ton for us and ends up being a Friday night starter, turned down money to come back to school. You have Matt Heiberger taking the step, finally had a healthy year. Like, nobody knew that. Like, Matty didn't pitch all fall last year because he was battling some stuff. got back and just the competitor he is, we threw him in there in the spring and he was fine. But you get him back with a healthy fall. He had a healthy summer, great in the Cape, healthy fall as we go into this stuff. So huge stuff there, like big strides out of them. Getting guys like Miles Upchurch and Luke Smyers to school is big. Like, those are those guys, and those guys didn't come to school because nobody offered them money out of high school. They came to school because they believe in JJ's development program and what he's going to do, that the money they walked away from last July is going to pale in comparison to what comes 2 years from now. So I'm excited about those group of guys. I'd be lying if I said I've watched a ton of them. You know, when we're in individuals, kind of more my specialty is on the offensive side, so I'm with these guys every day. I get down to the pen when I can, but haven't seen a ton of from all those guys yet. But just hearing JJ, Case, and Mo talk about their stuff, man, I think they're pretty excited with what's down there. And I think that's the key, is like, Oz was a superstar for us last year, and shoot, his walkout will still come on at times when we're out there, and I'm like, man, when you hear that song come on, you know everything's just going to be okay. It's a great feeling when you hear that. But we also had to throw him a ton last year, and because of that, I don't think Oz was as effective come late season, because, man, he helped us win so many games early because we had to, that I'm excited about some of the depth of the stuff. You know, I think Austin Morris has looked awesome. Connor Lehman has looked great down there. Owen Sarn is a transfer that's come in that's looked great. Caden Humphrey had 11 saves last year. You can go up and down the line. I think when you combine the talented freshman group of some of those dudes we've brought in, combined with just the maturing process of the guys on the staff, you give Jason Jackson a group like that, look out, it could be fun.
Justin, you talked earlier about trying to help out the younger guys. With your experience kind of stepping into stardom as a freshman, how do you help those, you know, this freshman class coming in, a lot of talented guys that could contribute? How do you use the lessons you've learned?
Honestly, it's just keep moving forward. I mean, neutral mindset, that's what we really are really big on here. I mean, I struggled a lot my fall. It was pretty bad, honestly, but like he said, I mean, they stuck with me. No one really gave up on me, and as long as you don't give up on yourself and you understand that failure is good, like, it makes you who you are. And that's kind of like why I like failure so much, because no one's perfect, and I'm far from it, and I know that for a fact. But at least I know that I'm going to get better each and every day, knowing that I'm going to fail and learn from it. So that's kind of what I tell them.
Time for one more.
Coach, I know it's a little early maybe for you to hear these kind of questions, but first part, how are you guys health-wise? And second, you have any read yet on maybe who's in the mix for that third weekend spot?
Oh, Lord have mercy, you're really coming at them now, huh? Everybody's good. You know, I was like everything. You got some nicks and bruises and this and that from whether it's summer or just guys that are worn down. We're trying to be really smart with guys, too. You know, like, there's a lot of guys, like, the fall is very important to us, no doubt. But being prepared to play 70 games come spring is the most important thing. So we're trying to be really calculated, maybe even a little more calculated than we have in the past at times, just with the load that we put on guys at times. And that can be the line you have to walk. So we want to get after it, we want to compete, we want it aggressive, we want it hard, but we also want this to be a sustainable thing. So we're being smart with some things that I think are good, but everybody's in a pretty good spot. Like, I'm really happy with where we're at. I think guys have gotten stronger, guys are moving good. I've been really happy with some of the swings. I'm telling you, you should go watch Eric Hines take BP today. That'll be a treat for you. But man, like, I'm so happy with that. And then I think when you look at that, man, I think there's so many names. Like, I mean, the two obvious easy ones at the top, you know, are Faye and Adams. You look at them returning. You know, Matt Heiberger showed us he's got the ability to start in the Cape. The secondary stuff's taking a massive jump, man. The breaking ball's way better. The changeup's way better. I think you look at guys like Austin Morris has been really, really good for us. Owen Sarna, I mentioned earlier, just has, in the pen at least, has thrown nothing but strikes and done things. But I think that's the beauty, is I think there's 6 or 7 names. I didn't even mention our 2 freshmen, like Miles Upchurch. Like, that guy seems like a pretty slam dunk dude to compete for that spot. Luke Smyer, same thing, slow heartbeat, left-handed, sinks the baseball. Kind of a Zane Adamish track a little bit with what he is. Like, won't shock me, but I think that's the beauty of it, is I do think there's options. You got Bobby Alcock back again, who I know faded a little bit at the end last year, but we forget that Bobby came off some giant injury the year before. We didn't know if he was going to play baseball again. And then he's SEC Pitcher of the Week at Texas A&M, you know, like, so you got that guy coming back that nobody's really talking about. You get a healthy Hagan Banks back this year. Like, Banks, he battled stuff, and I think we look at Riley Quick and see how Riley came back, and what Riley did was not normal last year, and I've said that a lot. Like, most time it takes some time to get Banksy back healthy. You got a guy in Ashton Crowther, that I think has done it before in this league. He's pitched in this league, done this. I just think there's a lot of options, and it's our job to kind of move guys around and put them in those situations this fall and kind of see what the best matchup is. And we're going to play winning baseball. And so whatever we feel like gives us the best chance to win is what we're going to run out there. But I think there's a lot of names for it and I'm sure there's probably one or two on there that I didn't name that are going to come out and be awesome. And that's what you want. That's what you want. So I'm excited about it.
Thanks, everybody.
Cool.